Sunday morning started like any other in Clara's house. The smell of freshly brewed coffee filled the kitchen as her mother set the breakfast table. It was a ritual Clara found comforting. However, that day, something was about to change. At 18 years old and preparing to start college, she decided to help her mother reorganize her parents' bedroom, a task that had been postponed for weeks. Amid piles of old clothes, documents, and forgotten objects, Clara stumbled upon something that would forever change the way she viewed her family. It was a hidden drawer, meticulously filled with neatly folded clothes. At the bottom, carefully wrapped, were lingerie pieces that didn't resemble anything her mother would wear. They were provocative, daring, each one different from the other. Some still had tags, while others appeared worn but well cared for. What was this? And why were they stored there with such care? Curious, Clara took one of the pieces and showed it to her mother. "Mom, is this yours?" she asked, holding up a black lace lingerie piece that looked like it came straight out of a fashion magazine. Her mother's expression changed instantly. Her eyes widened, and she tried to cover her reaction. "Of course not, Clara. Where did you find that?" Her voice trembled slightly, something Clara noticed immediately. "You want to know where this story is going, don't you?" Before we continue, if you want to help our channel keep bringing amazing stories, give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. If you enjoyed it, turn on notifications to know when new videos are posted. Her mother's explanation was rushed. "It must be something old. Maybe it's not even ours. We might have inherited it when we bought the furniture." Clara wanted to believe her, but something felt off about the way her mother avoided looking at her while speaking. Even stranger was the fact that minutes later, her mother put the pieces back in the drawer and quickly changed the subject. Clara couldn't get the image of those lingerie pieces out of her mind. Why were they there? If they weren't her mother's, whose were they? That night, during dinner, her father's presence seemed to deepen the mystery. He was unusually quiet, avoiding eye contact whenever Clara tried to speak to him. She decided to wait for the right moment to confront him. Later that night, while everyone was asleep, Clara returned to her parents' room. Her curiosity had now turned into an almost obsessive need for answers. Rifling through the drawer again, she found something even more intriguing: small notes hidden among the pieces. They were handwritten messages with phrases like, "I can't wait until next time," and "I can still smell your perfume." Clara's heart raced. This was more than a trivial mystery. It was a secret, possibly a scandal. In the following days, Clara began observing her parents differently. She noticed her mother was more restless, distracted, while her father seemed to go out of his way to avoid being alone with her. The family dynamic, once tranquil, now felt loaded with invisible tensions. But Clara wasn't ready to give up so easily. During a Sunday lunch, she finally confronted her father. "Dad, I found some things in your room. Lingerie and notes. What does it all mean?" The question hung in the air like a bomb about to explode. Her father turned pale, while her mother looked at Clara as if begging her not to go further. "I don't know what you're talking about," he replied nervously. Her father's evasive reaction only fueled Clara's determination. She started digging deeper, speaking to neighbors and close family friends, trying to find clues to contextualize her discovery. It was then that an old friend of her father's, during a seemingly casual conversation, let something significant slip. "Your dad always had a free spirit before he got married. He was different." The vague insinuation only raised more questions for Clara. Meanwhile, tension at home continued to rise. Arguments between her parents became more frequent, often sparked by seemingly insignificant things. Clara began wondering if her insistence on unraveling the mystery was destroying the family's balance. But how could she stop now, knowing something so important was hidden? Later that week, Clara found the courage to confront both parents together. She gathered them in the living room and placed the lingerie and notes on the table. "Enough with the lies. I want the truth. What does this mean?" The silence that followed was almost unbearable. Finally, her father broke it. "I should have told you a long time ago," he said, his voice heavy with guilt. He revealed that the lingerie belonged to a relationship he had before getting married. It was an intense, passionate affair that had ended abruptly. He had never been able to let go of those memories, and the pieces ended up stored away as a remnant of a past he had never had the courage to abandon completely. Clara's mother, who had remained silent until then, finally spoke. "I knew. I always knew. But I chose to ignore it because I wanted to save our family." Her voice was a mixture of pain and resignation. Clara felt a mix of compassion and anger. How could they have carried this secret for so many years, pretending everything was fine? But the story didn't end there. As her father continued to speak, Clara realized there was still more to the mystery. The relationship he mentioned wasn't just an affair. It was something deeper, with implications he still wasn't willing to fully reveal. The lingerie and the notes were just the tip of the iceberg. That night, Clara looked at the pieces with a new perspective. They weren't just clothes. They were symbols of a past filled with choices, sacrifices, and secrets. And as she carefully folded each one before placing them back in the drawer, one question lingered in her mind. How well do we really know the people we love? Want to know more about this story and many others we still have to share? Then don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Every day, a new story comes straight from our mysterious archive, filled with tales and accounts we've gathered from various sources. Cases with stories that will give you chills. Also, don't forget to share this video with that friend of yours who loves a good mystery.